Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Model Railcast. I'm your host Tom Reeds, aka Nav of Nav's Media Productions, and today we have an exciting episode lined up for you. Our subject for this month is modelling for all. So in this episode, I, along with the aid of other fellow railway modellers, will explain what a model railway is, how people can get involved in the hobby, how easy it is to start a model railway, and how it can be done on a minimal budget. So, let's jump on a train to Tame Valley Model Railway Club in Stalybridge to see what junior modeller Jacob Duffield has to say on this. Jacob.
Well, a model railway can be based off a real model railway station, or basically if you have maybe a station near your house or wherever you live, you can base it off that, or you can base it off purely your imagination, whatever you want it to be, which is the best thing about it.
And Jacob, what would you say one of the main problems is with model railways, or would you say that it's relatively easy to actually get into the hobby and people just don't actually know where to get into it from?
I think it's quite easy, in the sense that you can easily go out and buy a train set, and that's your starter pack. It will definitely get difficult when you're trying to add scenery, when you're trying to get, the specific things that you want to see in your imagination or a real station.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can always look up videos or get help from somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and I think even by just looking in it, you can just, get a few buildings off, like a little Metcalf kit, or get actual ready-built building that you can stick on your layout. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, most people from my survey want to model in 4mm scale, which is double O gauge.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you have double O gauge trains?
That is correct.
So could you tell me a bit more about those, please?
Okay, well, double O trains, it's the normal size that many people use.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to start if you want to build a railway. I think before you go on any other scale of track, you definitely should start on double O, because that's what many train sets are based on.
Yeah.
So let's say you go out and buy Hornby train set. That's double O gauge. It's easy. So you can buy it, set it up. It's nice. You've got what you need.
And the thing is, you don't actually have to go out and spend a ridiculous amount on it, because you can get a starter set from Hatton's for 30, 40 quid, can't you?
Yeah, by far. You honestly, you don't need to spend so much.
And you can buy locos for £10, £5, £20 just to start you off, and then if you want to get into the serious stuff, you can start looking at buying bigger models, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. For example, if you don't want to buy a train set that maybe costs £90 up to £100, they're quite expensive. However, you can just go, like you said, to Hatton's and buy a train for 10, 15 quid. That's a starter train, and then go out and buy some track, set it up however you want it to be, and there's your little thing that you can play with.
And of course, if you're like myself and you, we live with our parents, always make sure that you have parental permission, otherwise you might be in for a bit of a shock.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. So yeah, thank you, Jacob. Let's go and do some modelling.
Yeah, let's go do it.
Thank you, Jacob. That information was very helpful. Now, folks, I'm going to talk to you about my experiences with model railways and how I started in the hobby. My interest started at a young age, about 4 or 5 years old, and like most people who gain an interest in trains, my interest was sparked from a popular children's TV show known as Thomas Tank Engine and Friends. I remember my dad coming home one Christmas day with a large blue cardboard box under his arm. He looked at me, pulled the box from under his arm and placed it on the carpet. "Open it," he said. "Go on, open it." So, I opened the box and pulled out a white polystyrene rectangle with holes in it. I looked inside the rectangle, and there before me stood a bright blue tank engine with a yellow number 1 on the side, and 2 small 4-wheeled orange coaches with faces on the ends. This was my first real electric train set. Dad helped me put the track together on the carpet, put the train on and the coaches on the track, and showed me how to use the controller, and I sat on the carpet for hours. Over the next few years, I began to grow my small collection of model trains through presents from family members and eventually began to purchase my own models, and now we come to the first time that I visited a model railway show. I remember it well. 12th of April 2008 at Astley Sports College in Duckingfield. For a child of 7 to be in sports hall surrounded by model railways of all shapes and sizes would truly be something that would stay with me evidently to this day. I saw a man painting a locomotive. He said he was weathering the model to make it look dirty. This was where I was told about the Model Railway Club in Staley Bridge. Speaking of the Model Club, why don't we go down there and see how the guys are doing things down there at the club and what we actually do?
I mean, the idea is probably getting 2 of the standard Smoky Joes and using them as the little garret project.
Yeah, makes sense. Oh, I've seen it done. Honestly, if you search up and show us your pug bashers on the internet, there's a really good RM web thread about 35 pages long.
There's probably
all the things people have done with Smoky Joes and the equivalents from other ranges and manufacturers.
Well, I know somebody did something absolutely insane once with one of them. They took a Smoky Joe and basically gave it an SM32 body.
Yeah?
And I just asked, what on earth? But then again, I thought,
Hold on, so SM32 is
16
normally intended for
16mm
ogre
scale.
track. Yes, that's normally 32mm gauge.
32mm gauge track, 16mm to a foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that sounds a bit like G9, but bigger again.
Probably.
In fact, that's basically about right for GN15.
Yeah.
Because if it
I've seen
G-scale,
GN15 stuff.
it doesn't sound enormously different in any respect from GN15, which is, and GN15 is a lovely set. It does seem to attract a lot of people with a bit of talent, but also a sense of humour. One of the ones at Pickering was lovely. It was a model closely based on, but not a true to life model of the North Lincolnshire clay rail lines. Mostly 009, but it did have, I think, either 00 or EM mainline on it, running to BR diesels.
It would have been either or.
And there were all sorts of little scenes like where someone had spilt the paint on the roof and stuff happening around the sheds and people going out in the fields. And it was really, really good, including the tight squeeze underpass under the main line, which apparently constantly flooded in real life because it was by the Humber.
Well, mind you, I recently just...
And now I have my own layout. It's called Greenside. It's really a little nice layout which I built up at the club. I'm so proud of what I've done. Thank you, folks. Well, that was really interesting, wasn't it? I certainly learned a lot. But now we're actually at the end of this month's podcast. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and I'd like to thank everyone who helps to make this podcast possible. Without you, this couldn't have been done. If you did enjoy the podcast, please make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. This has been Nav's Media Productions on the first episode of Model Railcast. Join me next month when we'll be discussing the new topic of models, big and small.